Neckbend, you're next. So, with a desire to make a shift and ignite their career, how does someone know when it's the right time to jump ship and transition to something new?
Thank you, Osa. It's a pleasure to be here, as I said earlier. As it relates to our career, it's incredibly important that we just take inventory of where we're spending most of our time in terms of our professional goals. As you all know, we spend well over 7 hours, a good part of your day, most of your week with your work environment, right? So that's a huge investment of your time, a huge investment of your energy. It is time and energy you cannot get back if you're not in a professional setting that's really uplifting you. And so most of us on this call, as was mentioned earlier, we're probably first generation Americans, immigrants. We're told to work hard and keep our head down. We're told that if we work hard, someone will notice us and tap us and elevate us. And that is just simply not how it works, unfortunately. America is really not a true meritocracy, if we're honest. Those who speak up, whether you're venting to a mentor, you're venting to someone who has more expertise around you to help you get to that next level, those who speak up are really the ones who get elevated. So long as you have the table stakes of performing well, right? You have to speak up and network to get to next level. So with that, I always advise people, take stock of where you are in your career today. What does that mean? It means, first of all, make a checklist. And I do this on a 6-month basis, every 6 months, a checklist of what's working well for you in your current professional environment. Are you growing? Are you learning? Are you hitting a new project that really elevates your skill set, allows you to shine? Are you working with a chain of command or management line that really values you, that takes the time to check in with you, that knows your professional and personal goals and is willing to put you forward? If you do not have those things, you need to think about leaving. I say this because a lot of us on the call might be risk adverse. We think leaving might be too risky, but what's more risky is staying where you are, knowing you don't have what you need to get to your optimum level. That's a huge risk of your own career, while others around you, and I'm going to be direct, white men around you are not settling. They are not being quiet in an environment that's no longer working for them. So take that inventory on a regular basis. On the other hand, as Nagia talked about earlier, ask yourself what you want. What do you have and how can you get there? Make sure you're doing that internal check-in to make sure that you have the confidence, perspective, skills, and knowledge you need to get to that next level. We have a balance here that requires doing an external inventory as well as an internal inventory about your career, so you know whether or not it's time to really move. 2 tips that I want to give people on the call that really will help you, I think, know when it's time to leave. One, if you're in a professional environment where you have a lot of mentors, maybe, right? You're mentored, maybe you're over mentored, which means there's nobody being a sponsor for you, right? There's nobody that's really going to speak up for you, but they know you, they call you, they check in with you, they make sure you're okay, but nobody is ready to sponsor you. And sponsorship really means mentorship on that next level, someone who's going to speak out on your behalf when you're not in the room, someone who's in a position of power that can really help you get to that next level. If you don't have sponsorship, but you have mentorship, it might be a good time to either reconsider your mentors or find a new work environment where you will have sponsorship. A lot of us as women of color, I believe, are over-mentored. We have a ton of people we could call maybe to vent to get advice from, but we're under-sponsored. We're not sponsored enough. There's not enough people in our work and professional environments who are going to speak on our behalf, take that political and social risk to say, I can bet on this person. I know she will do a good job, and I want you to take a risk on her. There's not enough of that for us. And so thinking through your mentorship and sponsorship model will really help you decide whether or not you need a new environment. If you're overly mentored and under-sponsored, it might be time to find a new space. And then finally, I think this idea of knowing your self-worth is critical. A lot of us know we're skilled. We know what we can bring to the table for others. We know how much work we like to do and to serve our community and serve our businesses, but we don't have a number, financial or otherwise, in our head that tells us this is what I'm worth, and until I get there, I'm not going to settle. That idea of really knowing your worth in a professional environment is going to help you live your best career. If you're not telling yourself regularly, here's what my next goal is, whether it's a project or salary or a bonus, I would really ask you to do that internal work and find a space that will encourage you to do that more intentionally. I'm a career coach, as some of you might know. And one of the things that I love doing with my clients is helping them get that mental, internal conversation going about what they're worth and being intentional about how they're spending their time and energy. Too many of us are calling it in. We have a great job, a great title, a great family, and we're just going through the motions. But being intentional and pausing, as Nugget talked about earlier with her executive coach, to say, I know my worth. Here's that next level I'm ready for. Kind of allows the universe to meet you where you need to be. And coaching is a great way to unlock that power so that you can start to hear yourself out loud, say the things that you're worth, and everyone around you will start to respond, whether that's your work environment, your coach team, your management team, your friends and family. You start to attract in the universe what you put out there with intentionality. So that's what a coach will help you do. And so that's my answer, everyone. Do that internal inventory. Am I ready? Do I have the goals? Am I setting the right boundaries? Do I have the sponsorship I need? And then doing the external inventory. Am I learning? Am I growing? Is this an environment that I can really be my best in? And then you can decide if you're ready to move on.
Great, Nekman. Thank you so much. And if you haven't already, I mentioned it earlier, make sure you follow Women Work, WOMENWERK, so you can learn more about the organization and about Nekman. One thing you brought up was knowing your worth, which is so important.